Hi, everybody. Time for part 3 of my short story, Purple Jesus. After I left my mother's, I drove around for a few hours and wound up on Madison at the house Marilyn and I bought. At this time of night, it was a lonely structure, a fiefdom surrounded by hedges. Through the downstairs window, I could just see the ficus plant and the secretary next to the stairs. I was parked behind the hedge, out of the way, nearly in front of McDaniel's house. 2 sets of legs came down the stairs and turned to go into the kitchen. It burned me, not knowing who she was with. I got the idea that I could sneak through the hedge for a better look. Marilyn would never know. The hedge served as a boundary between our house and McDaniel's, and for years I stashed bottles in the thickets and spent hours pawing through them in search of my supply. I growled and swore and jabbed a flashlight into the caves and leafy cubbyholes, whimpering when the bottles eluded me, pleading, "Please let me find you. Please stop hiding." Surely 1 or 2 of those bottles was still hidden. Surely I hadn't found them all. I crabbed my way through the lone break in the hedge large enough for my body. A tricky interior branch snagged my glasses and flung them to the ground. For the life of me, I couldn't find them. They vanished into the gnarled maze of the hedge, a vortex of lost things. A square of light fell from the kitchen window onto the lawn. Marilyn and her guest stood at the window and faced the yard. Marilyn's arm rose and arced from one side of the window to the other, and the stranger mirrored her movements in some lurid and opaque semaphore. Eventually, Marilyn retreated, and the figure continued posing. Without a partner, his erratic gyrations were just plain stupid. The jerk. While he stood alone, Marilyn switched off the light, leaving his silhouette burned into my optics. He never quite dissipated, but dissolved into a dark outline against a darker background. Upstairs, Marilyn switched on the bedroom light. Her voice drifted from her bedroom window. There was a long silence, a murmured conversation, and the frantic aura of their communion, a soundless but obvious feasting, the opening of legs, the thrusting of pelvises. None of this disturbed me, by the way. I'd understood for a long time what had been lost. Marilyn was no longer mine, if she ever was. And she deserved a healthy lover, or 10, or 20. I understood the mantle of exile. I begrudged her nothing. I pushed my way back through the hedge and patted the dirt in wide circles, hoping to find my glasses. They eluded me, but I found something better. I couldn't read the label, but I knew immediately what I held. A half-gallon of Popov's, lost since the night Marilyn searched and destroyed my hidden hooch during a furious sweep of the compound. She dislodged it from the toilet tank and the dropped ceiling above the washing machine, and from its tomb of cushions on the recliner, and from a dozen other places. She was done, she said, fed up, sick and tired of living with a lush. And I understood, as always, because she was justified. I admitted my awful drunkenness, and my agreement infuriated her. She intensified her looting in the basement, and I made a beeline for the bedroom. If she emptied the house completely, I was doomed. From a box in our closet, I removed the pop-off and took a few gulps from the squishy plastic bottle. My savior. Hearing her stomping up the stairs, I opened the window and tossed the bottle underhand into the hedge, a once-in-a-lifetime throw, a perfect 10. On the other side of the hedge, I saw McDaniel's raking, or pretending to rake, the first leaves of autumn in his stupid, wide-brimmed hat. I knew damn well that he'd watched my furtive toss and would report it, that fink. Yet the bottle had remained concealed in the hedge for 3 years, still and patient as a Buddha. Thanks a lot. Stay tuned for part 4 tomorrow.